Yo, what's going on? Good afternoon, Facebook. What's going on with everyone today on this nice, hot, sunny day in Florida, man? I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Ooh, all of this sun, where's the sun? Okay, here we go. I can kind of see myself here. All right, how's everyone doing today? Man, look, I know I've been away for a little bit off of Facebook Live, but I've been trying to get some things together. Been doing some planning and some brainstorming and different things of that nature. So for this right here, I haven't had time to properly introduce this new segment that I'm doing called Marriage Is ... Mondays. Marriage is ... Mondays. You know, giving tips on marriage, giving different perspectives on marriage and the importance of marriage. Excuse me, I'm just kind of down today. I'm off from work, and so, you know, just taking a little bit of time to put in a little bit more work on top of the other work. So today is the first installment, the first episode, I'll call it, the first episode of Marriage is Mondays. All right, you can hear that, the plane flying over me right overhead. Beautiful day to fly, to go to the beach, to walk, to be outside. So that's exactly what I'm doing. That's why the post is coming from outside, not in the car. I'm going to try to stop doing posts in the car, but I have time to get out from behind the steering wheel, so that's why I'm out here outside right now. So Marriage is Mondays. Originally, I had an original portion for this topic today, but it switched up when I was talking to my wife last night. My wife, she wrote an awesome blog. In fact, what I'm going to try to do is either tag the blog, post a link to the blog in the comments section of this particular video, or post it to my page. So what I was going to do, I'm going to say for 2 weeks for Marriage is Mondays. Okay, so for today, we're going to talk about marriage is covenant. Okay, covenant. Now, what is it? Now, what's a covenant? That's the big question that we probably have to ask ourselves. What is a covenant? Well, a covenant is, the best way to explain it in the simplest terms, is an unbreakable promise. An unbreakable promise. Now, in the old days, the ancient days, covenants were basically just as good as the laws in that particular city, in the particular area, in that particular region. In fact, covenants would take typically years, sometimes days, weeks, months, sometimes even years to forge a covenant. So let me give you an example of what I mean. So say if there was something between two families, my family and another family, and I say, you know what, you did this for me and you got me out of a lot of trouble. So if there is at any point in time that your family needs, let's say it gets into some type of debt, my family will be the one to pay the debt off for your family. Okay, so anytime there was some type of debt, my family would pay it off for your family, and you enter into covenant. Now, typically, covenant came through also a sacrifice. So what they would do is they would take an animal, cut it in half, and the covenant would be forged between two parts of the animal, in the middle of the two parts of the animals. That's one of many ways a covenant was cut. Now, what does covenant have to do with marriage? All right, it's the unbreakable promise. Okay, the unbreakable promise. So when you enter into your vows, when you enter into a marriage with someone, you are entering into covenant. You are entering into this thing that says, I am going to be there for you. What do we say? For better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, to death do us part, right? However, do we really mean these things? Or do we really mean, as long as I don't get sick and tired of you, as long as I still feel in love with you, or as long as I feel that you are able to meet my needs, as long as you're financially stable, what does this really mean? Because that's what it's turned into. When I married my wife, I told my wife this a few days ago. I said, when I married you, I said, I felt the weight of my responsibility to you when we were up on that stage and we got married. Why? Because I knew it was forever. I knew that this was something that I could not play with. I knew that this is something that was going to have to work. I knew that this was responsibility. I knew I was coming into a new family. I knew all these different things that I was putting on the line. I knew all the different things that I was willing to give up for you, for us, in order to make this thing work. I was entering into covenant saying that no matter what happens, no matter how we may disagree, how we may feel at a certain moment, that no matter what, that I will not leave your side and we will walk this thing out together. I mean, and at the very basis of it, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. Yo, I want to walk this out. I want to walk this out with you. I want to do this with you. I want to be able to support you during your time of need. I want to be able to love you. I want to be able to walk with you through life, through difficulties, through lack, through prosperity. That's what you're saying when you get married. However, these days, marriage has become more like a dating game. A dating game. A game that is, I feel like it today, I don't feel like it today. And you can't do that. You have entered into the unbreakable promise. Okay? This is not something that you play around with. So if you're not ready for marriage, don't get married. You have to understand, marriage is a lot of things. Marriage takes work. Okay? Marriage is something that is supposed to be, at its root, at its foundation, is supposed to be something that is unbreakable. So check this out. So say you do this. Oh man, I done married the wrong person. Stop. No, you didn't. That's the person you married. That's the person you enter into covenant with. So if you enter into covenant with somebody by accident, guess what? It still sticks. It still sticks. Say I get into something with somebody and I say, you know what, bro, no matter how long, I got your back. Anytime something happens, you come to me, I'm going to take care of it. Guess what? And they come to it and they did something wrong. And guess what? I've entered into covenant with them. So guess what? I'm bound by it. Even to, check this out, even to the point in the ancient days that if you broke covenant, it was even punishable by what? Death. Yes, by death. You could put family on the line. You could put money on the line. You could put livestock on the line. You could put property on the line. You could put all these different things on the line when you were dealing with covenant. Why? Because covenant is the what? The unbreakable promise. I'm trying to make this stuff simple for us. Sometimes we get into all these different things. Another plane flying overhead. Sometimes we get into all these different things. We get into all these different listen to all these different people and it seems like these things are so complex and different things. No, let's get it simple. Let's make it simple. The unbreakable promise. That's what it is. Now think about it. Now let's thank God that you know, if someone divorces, it's not punishable by death. However, that's how seriously these things were taken during the time. I'm talking about, we can go even closer to now, that these things that people enter into is like a contract. A contract. What happens if you break a contract? If you break a contract, that could be a what? A monetary, you could have a monetary fine. You got to buy out someone's contract if you don't want them there. Why? Because you're breaking the what? The covenant that you have with this person, saying that this is what we're going to do and this is what you will offer. This is what I will offer for amount of time. This is real, man. This is real. And what we've done is we've taken it lightly. We done got sucked in and pulled in by TV, pulled in by magazines, pulled in people who are writing articles on marriage, on all this stuff, who aren't even married, who don't even want to be married. They're just taking it because they feel like this. So you know what? I feel like that this would be a good, balanced way. Listen, in marriage, there is no balance, man. There is no balance. It's 100% all the time. I'm giving 100% all the time, no matter what, no matter where, no matter when. It is 100% all the time. Now, sometimes, yes, Can we, if we're real with ourselves, can we say that I don't necessarily always give 100%? If you're real with yourself, sometimes I don't feel like getting up and making the kids breakfast. Sometimes I don't feel like, that's just being real. Sometimes that is. But for the most part, the overall, that cumulative score, we're supposed to be at 100%. I'm supposed to give my 100. You're supposed to give your 100. It's no 50-50. If you're working 50-50 in the covenant relationship, the covenant marriage, you have failed that relationship. Why? Because you're in covenant. You're in the unbreakable promise. Unbreakable. Unbreakable. Remember these words. Unbreakable. Okay? So these words, for rich or for poor, in sickness and in health, for better or for worse, till death do you part. That's what these things mean. You're going to argue. You're going to not see the eye to eye. You're going to be frustrated with each other. You might spend the day not speaking to each other. But this is no reason. This what I've just said, this is no reason to be like, no, I don't want to be with you anymore. That's fickle. That's being double-minded. Come on now. How can you go to a job? Check this out. How can you go to a job where you disagree with things that are being said, practices that are being done, places where it's not always going to go right, but you go there every day? But as soon as things like this happen, and these things happen consistently on the job, but when they happen consistently in your marriage, you know what? You're ready to call it quit. Maybe I married the wrong person. Nope, unbreakable promise. You did not marry the wrong person. That person is in it with you through the thick and the thin. So you need to try to figure out. And let me tell you this. And sometimes when you're in this covenant thing and you're going through these rough patches, because I'm not saying that there won't be rough patches, and excuse me for talking so quickly. You know, I'm just trying to get a lot in, and plus it's burning up hot outside. I'm not saying that you won't go through rough patches, but what I'm saying is that during these rough patches, it'll take time to sometimes to get things mended back together. But that's cool though, because it makes it stronger. It makes your covenant stronger. Look, covenant with no work is not worth being in. Because what happens is when you put in the work with the covenant, it makes that thing that much stronger. Look. I was always taught that if I give you a car, well, you got a car. You may not take care of that car. Why? Because you didn't pay for it. But if you pay for something, if you pay for that car, what are you going to do? You're going to make sure the oil's changed. You're going to make sure the tires are rotated. You're going to make sure that the belts are changed. You're going to make sure that everything is going to be perfect for that car to be able to run as long as you need to be able to drive it. Okay? It's the same thing with marriage. I'm going to put in the work in order for this to be able to go as long as life, as long as I'm able to breathe. This marriage is going to be willing to work. Let me give you an example. My grandparents have been married for over 60 years. In fact, I think they've been married roughly 64, 65 years. My grandfather, he's very sick right now. He's been very sick for the past couple of years. And my grandmother, you know what? At 92 years old, and my grandfather will be turning 90 this July, still comes in there, still comes and kisses him, still loves him. My grandfather hasn't been able to move in years. She still loves him. My grandmother calls him her best boyfriend. And even in all of this, my grandfather doesn't have anything to offer right now. He can't move, he can't really speak, but you know what? That woman comes in, sees him every day, loves on him, gives him caring words, gives him, even though he may not be in the best of shape, even though he may not be able to care for himself, she's still in there, she's still loving him. It doesn't matter to her. This is the person that she did life with. This is the person that she committed herself to. This is the person that she will not turn her back on, because this is the same person that when they were dating and engaged, that he got sick, that he was sick, and she would come and visit him like every week. This is the same person that she's walked through life. This is the same person when he had cancer, had to have surgery to remove the cancer. This is the same person she's walked with. This is the same person when she was in the hospital, he would visit her. This is the same person. Now, I can tell you now, my grandfather is a very, during the times when he was well, he was a very, very, very laid-back person. My grandmother, she was very fiery. I remember one time I was in their bedroom. I was talking with them. I was talking with my grandmother. My grandfather was watching the news. My grandmother's talking to me. My grandfather says, "I can't hear the news." My grandmother looks at my grandfather, just kind of rolls her eyes, continues talking to me. So you know what my grandfather did? He takes the remote control and turns the volume up. You know what my grandmother does? Rolls her eyes again and continues talking to me. Okay, now that's a cute example, but you can't let little things like that. Look, let me tell you something. If y'all having trouble over toothpaste and where you're gonna squeeze the bottle of toothpaste, get 2 bottles of toothpaste. It's that easy. Because why are you gonna let? This is my question. No one goes into a marriage thinking like that they're not gonna do this forever. No one does. No one goes into a marriage like, oh, I hope I'm just married for like 5 years. Or I hope I'm just able to get to 10 years. And after 10 years, I don't care what happens after that. No one ever says that. So why are we so quick to end it? Why are we not willing to put in the covenant work in order to make our stuff and our marriage stronger? Why? Why isn't? Why do we not put in time? Why isn't the time not being put in? To work on ourselves. I told somebody this. I like to tell young people this who get married, because I used to be against young people getting married, but I'm for it now. If you understand the work that is being put in, I said, this is what marriage is going to do for you. Marriage is going to show you the ugliest part of yourself. It's going to show you the ugliest part of you. Why? Because you're you. You know what you want, you know what you like, and you don't like to change. So that's what it's going to do. And that ugly part of you, you're going to have to change in order to fit this covenant relationship that you're entering into, in order to make this thing work. You have to get out this place. And you know what that's called? That's called selfishness. It's going to show you the ugly part of you. But if you want this covenant to work, if you want this covenant to go far, if you want this covenant to last, you're going to put in the work. You're not going to break it. It doesn't matter hell or high water what comes, you will not break it. You will put in the work. And if something does come to shake your marriage, you will fight for it. You will fight for it. That's like entering into covenant, like I said earlier, entering covenant with somebody, and somebody's coming into trouble, and I said, no matter what happens, I am going to fight with you. Look, man, this is Marriages Mondays. Marriage is covenant, man. Marriage is the unbreakable promise. I promise you that I'm going to be here for you, and nothing is going to change that. Now, I need you to think, what are you letting change that? What are you letting that you think that it is not worth it anymore? Be real with yourself, because that thing might just be you. What can you do in order to change, to strengthen your covenant relationship, your covenant marriage? For better or for worse, richer for poor, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. What are you going to change? Because it might be you. There might be something you doing. There might be something that make you better, to try to make you better. So what are you going to do to change it? What? I'm asking. Ask yourself. Ask yourself this. Because you know what? It could be, say it is on, say on just the off chance that it's not even you, that it is them. Oh, got into some shade, Lord. Say on the off chance it is you. Excuse me. Say on the off chance it's not you. What are you still going to do in order to make it work? It doesn't matter when you're in covenant, because the covenant is going to outlast the things that are going on right now. They are. I mean, there's some things, even my wife said it last night. She was talking to a friend, and she said, you know, I really believe that if I had known what was coming after we had gotten married, that I probably wouldn't have gotten married to her. That's a possible truth. But it didn't break us. You know why? Because I understand. And I understood going in what these things will take. Now, some things prove harder than others, but I was willing to not fail at this. Are you willing to not fail at it? Are you willing to push through it? Are you willing to make that this is your word? This is the unbreakable promise that you have entered into with your husband, with your wife. Are you willing to make this work? Are you willing to go in there when fear comes in, when doubt comes in? Are you willing to push it all aside, push it all aside, and go for it? Are you? Because that's what covenant is. No matter what comes, no matter what happens, that I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to embrace. I'm willing to embrace this. Now, mind you. Check this out. Now, mind you, like I said, there were some times that covenant took many years to cut and to establish. Years to establish. So what does that mean? Don't jump in the covenant and it hasn't been established, and it hasn't been talked out, and it hasn't been forged. Don't jump in it. Don't. That's what happens to a lot of people. People are jumping into covenant, and you haven't yet established the expectations of the covenant. You can't do that. That's a setup for failure. In some cases it works, because there were some covenants that took days in order for it to be cut, in order for it to be established. So there are some times it works. But when you're into this thing till death do you part, for better or for worse, trust me, you do not want to go in it just off a whim. Look, man, I'm only bringing you these things because I love you, okay? So I need you to do something for me. If you like the video, then like the video. I'm gonna be putting this up on YouTube, so subscribe to my YouTube channel, Vickers Speaks. In fact, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of it, Vickers Speaks. Okay, so get on them, follow, because sometimes I cannot put some things on some social media that I do on others. So sometimes some things run seamless, some things are different. So if you don't want to miss anything, and before I go, check this out. We have a couple other things that are coming up as well. Next week, we're starting Your Week is Just Beginning Wednesdays, aka the grind don't stop. Man, we going for it here, man. We going for it here. All right, that's one. Then we're gonna have the Speak Out. All right, the Speak Out is a time of getting your questions answered on certain topics, really on anything. Love, relationships, life, getting to that next level. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're here for. So your week is just beginning Wednesday, starts next week, and then the week after I'll be back with another Marriage is Mondays. Okay, and so there's a few more things that we got out there planned. I can't wait. I've been reaching out to people, and people have been reaching out to me. We're gonna get into these schools. We're gonna start changing some of these kids' lives. I've gotten contacts from Orange County school system, Volusia County school system, about people possibly bringing me in. You do not want to miss this. This is going to be a great move. We're out here changing lives. We're out here doing what needs to be done in order to get people to that next level. So remember, this is Marriage is Mondays. Do not break the unbreakable promise, okay? We love you. This is Vickers Speaks. I'm going to be posting that blog for my wife, Mrs. Vickers Speaks. I like that. Yes, I helped her come up with that. You know I did. I'm going to be posting that blog either in the comment section of this video or in a different post altogether. In fact, I might just do both. And please be looking for this on YouTube as well. I love y'all. Have a great time. This is Marriage is Mondays. I'll see you in 2 weeks with another one. Peace.